Okay, I'm going to talk about the very start of starting a productized service, which is finding an idea, validating your value proposition, and I will talk about two frameworks to basically find problems to solve and make sure that you build something that customers want. So at ManyPixels, at the very beginning, we had a model which was the unlimited model, but we then realized that this was not what customers really wanted. And this impacted our growth and our churn. So finding really a good positioning and a good problems to solve is really key to growing your productized service. So we'll talk about this now. And I think this is presentation that you can go later on, even during your the growth of your productized service, because you will see that as you grow, your value proposition might change or the target customers might change as well. So yeah. So there are three important questions to ask for idea and positioning. The first one is what problem you're helping your customers to solve, which customers experience that problem, and what will the perfect solution look like to them. And all of this basically is your productized service. So I took an example of a productized service, which is Video Husky. So the problem they solve is that video editing takes time. So they came up with a solution done for you video editing for a flat monthly fee. And then they list on their website what the solution looks like for a customer. So you have dedicated editor, 1-2 day turnaround, free stock footage, and YouTube Vimeo upload. So the problem is that video editing takes time. It's hard to find reliable people to get the job done, and it's transparent pricing when working with freelancers. You rarely have that. If you go on Upwork, you have different prices every time you submit a job, and everybody say that they are suited for the job, but that's not true, right? And so that's how their solution looks like. So it's important to start first with a problem and really understanding it, and getting on calls with customers and really understanding what they've tried before and what they really want is important. And we will look at the other slides to know more about this. So problems, well, let me just go back. Problems are more important than solutions. So how do you find a good problem to work on? I have two frameworks that I usually use to do this. The first one is burning pain. So really understanding the most important pain and the most important reason why customers are using your service. So for me, for ManyPixels, it was that customers really had a hard time hiring a designers and basically finding someone reliable on the long term. So that was the first thing. For Video Husky, for example, it could be just technical problem. They don't know how to edit video, or they want to save time. So really understanding the first pain that customers have is a great way to understand if you are focusing on the right problem to solve. So you pick a niche, you identify a goal of that niche. So it could be, I want to make video, I want to hire a designer. And then you try to understand the biggest pain, the most annoying thing when basically trying to achieve that goal. And then you find a solution using the words customers use to describe their problem. So getting on call and recording the calls that you have with customers and trying to see if the customers that you interview have repeated the same language, right? When they describe their problem is quite interesting, because you can then use that language on your landing page to describe your solution as well. So as an example, let's say that the people that you target, that the customers you target are Amazon merch t-shirt sellers. Their goal is to sell more t-shirts online on Amazon, and their burning pain could be, okay, I want to find illustrators to create amazing t-shirts designs. That's the most difficult thing that they have to do in order to sell more t-shirts. So your solution is way easier now that you know their biggest problem. It's that you need to find talented illustrators. We help you find talented illustrators for your Amazon merch business so you can sell more t-shirts. So that's one way to do it. So as you can see also, if you understand well the problem, you come with a way more actionable solution. So if you just say, I provide a video editing service, or I provide illustration or SEO services, that doesn't really speak to the problem of the users. But when you understand the problem, you can come up with way more actionable solutions, such as the one that are here, like unlimited video editing to save you more time so you can create more content. SEO services that rank your websites from full page to placing links so you can generate more leads. A second framework that is often used in SaaS as well is job to be done. So it's a framework to identify the job that your customers have, the needs that they have, and basically to help them achieve that job. So to take the example of the skateboard customer, they want the board, they want all of the piece and all of the things in the skateboard, but what they want is to have fun and to skate, right? So that's really their goal, the goal that they want to achieve with your product. So I took 3 examples of customers and 3 different jobs. So YouTuber, Amazon merch sellers, and an affiliate blogger. So that's 3 potential productized service, 3 customers that you will try to reach out to launch a productized service, and we'll try to see what's their job. So a YouTuber, it could be getting video done for my audience. An Amazon merch seller, getting illustrations done. An affiliate blogger, getting ranked for my website. And the needs that they have to have fulfilled to get that job done, for the first one could be hiring a video editor, communicating, handling revisions. Second one, finding t-shirts idea, hiring a designer, and handling revisions. And the last one could be outreaching bloggers, placing links, and creating content. So really understanding the job, the most important job that customers have, and the needs that they have in order to fulfill that job is a really great way to make sure that you solve a problem that customers actually have. So that's 2 frameworks basically that I use to solve problems. So once you have that, once you fix those problems, what I always recommend on a productized service group is to niche down. So why niching down? First of all, you stand out from the crowd. So if you just offer SEO services for everyone, then you don't really stand out from the crowd. But if you offer, let's say, SEO services for a specific industry, then you can speak to your customers and you know where to market them. And that's also easier for you to standardize and to delegate your service to other team members. So here's a few examples of niche: SaaS, e-commerce, freelancers, marketers, students. But I think that's not enough. So what I think is an interesting approach, at least when you start a productized service, is to find a sub-niche. So SaaS could be B2B SaaS, freelancers. If you want to create a service for graphic designers, just focus on graphic designers. Or if you focus on students, focus on English language learners. There's an example of a productized service that I interviewed on Productized Startups, which is IELTS coaching, done for you IELTS coaching. So it just focused on Chinese-speaking English language learners, and she made a productized service that really speaks to them and that really basically try to solve their problem. And for them, they also prefer to use that service because they feel that it speaks to them, and it will help them basically succeed. And then the second step that you take after you found a sub niche is that you find one problem to solve. So Video Husky, usually they focus on helping YouTubers save time so they can create more content. Lead Cookie, they just focus on generating leads. WP Buffs, they focus on maintaining your WordPress website so you don't have to worry about it and hire designers or developers. And that's really interesting when you niche down to pick one problem to solve, because then you're really good at this, and that will help you later on down the road to sell. Because let's say that if you are WP Buffs and create a maintenance service, but also a landing page, creation service, and then some coding service on the side, it's really difficult for you to create a scalable sales strategy because you have too many problems to solve, too many customers. It's good to start with one problem so that you can basically scale your marketing as well. So a niching down test. So 3 important questions to ask when you find your niche is: first, is that niche defined? So can you find customers when you create that niche? Are they accessible? So can you reach out to them? Can you send them an email or a message? Or can you find them on Facebook groups? And finally, the most important, do they have a purchase intent? So when you create an MVP, when you create a landing page, are they willing to purchase your productized service, or simply there is no need? So these 3 questions are quite important to ask. Then once you do that, once you have answered all those questions, you should you should normally have a sentence, I help that type of customer solve this problem with this solution. So for example, Hey Carlson, they are doing Shopify task they're only focusing on Shopify experts. So they can say, I help Shopify store owners customize their store by providing them dedicated Shopify experts. So it's who they basically target, Shopify store owners, what they do, customize their stores, and how they do it, dedicated Shopify experts. And that's actually on their landing page as well. So finally, last thing, how to package your service. So basically it's, first of all, I'm not the expert on this, and it's a lot of trial and error, in my opinion. In ManyPixels, we had many packages, and we changed our price maybe 5 or 6 times. But basically, it's what you do, for whom, for how much, how you will do it, and what you can also do, if you can show it, is the expected results. So here are some examples. First of all, difference between agency and productized service. So an agency is, we offer web design service for everyone. Send us a proposal, get a custom quote, and there is no transparent delivery process. But on your productized service landing page, you can say, okay, we only create custom websites for gym. Here's what you pay us. You fill in your brief, and you get your website done in 14 days. So the expectations are very clear. So here are a couple of examples of packages of different productized service. So WP Bellhop is done for you WordPress website service. They have a clear pricing. They explain on their website who they target. Actually, mostly they do websites for church, I've heard, and nonprofits, and how they do it. So one edit or change per week, nightly backup, SSL certificate. So that's a good example of packaging your service. Another one is Loganix. They provide SEO service such as backlinks. So it's basically helps you get links on some high authority websites, and then your website gets ranked higher in Google. So they even put the average delivery time to get the links and the expected results. So plus roughly 1K to 5K monthly organic traffic when you buy that tier. And there is also the pricing, by the way, at the bottom. And again, Video Husky. So that's another example of packages where you can see also at the bottom the add-ons. So there is a main package, but you can also add extra packages for an extra fee per month. So that's basically it, guys. That was my presentation. So just about, let me just see how I can stop sharing. Oh, yeah, here we go.
Awesome, thanks, Robin. That was really, really great. I think people find that information you shared really, really helpful, especially sort of when you're in that ideation phase.
And yes, I will share the slides, by the way. Yeah,
so Michaela Light was asking about the slides. Robin, like you say, you're going to share them in the Slack. We have time for a little bit of Q&A if anyone has any burning questions or wanted to ask anything about everything that Robin's just covered. Yeah, I can see Federico. Do you want to?
Yeah, I have a question, Robin. It might be too specific for me, but maybe somebody else gets some value out of it. The core of my offer is, as I said before, building these comparison landing pages. And I have some ideas, some like stacking ideas on how to upsell that offer, how to sell more during the initial engagement. But I'm having a hard time figuring out how to make that into an ongoing offer. Like when you pay a monthly fee and we keep delivering stuff for you, because once the landing page is done, you're done basically, unless you can continue like do one comparison page each month and we are going to do 10 competitors, 15 competitors. But again, that doesn't really make sense if you only have a top 3 list of competitors or whatever. So how would you suggest exploring ideas on how to turn your core one-time offer into an ongoing service?
Yeah, so what I've seen in productized services, so for example, the one mentioned in the presentation, there is like a one-time fee and then there is a maintenance fee. So I don't know if it's possible in your service or what your customers need. If there is anything that you can offer that is more like maintenance or maybe some security updates or some optimization updates or something like this that you can do on a recurring basis. So something that customers would basically pay monthly for. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
So perhaps go on a few calls with customers and try to see to understand more about their business, understand more about their goal. Try to ask them some questions such as, what's your biggest goal this year? What are you struggling with your websites? Are you hiring freelancers currently? Do you work with other agencies? Try to really get into their head, and then you will probably come up with some ideas by just hearing them describe their problems.
Okay, great. Well, one thing that I'm thinking about is doing ongoing optimization, like every month checking in their stats, how the page is converting, maybe installing Hotjar or something like that for them, and seeing the how people are using the landing page, and doing just minor tweaks every single month so we can keep improving that conversion rate. But my problem with that is that if I'm going to be charging, let's say, I don't know, 1K for one comparison landing page, I couldn't charge 1K every single month just to do that optimization, right? It would have to be a way smaller monthly fee.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, makes sense. Thank you.
Awesome. I think we have some more questions in the chat, Robin. I don't know if you saw those, but Yvonne Miller, who will unmute if you want to talk as well. Don't have to. But Yvonne Miller asks, do you find there is a general setup cost for creating a productized service?
So which investment you need, right, to create your productized service? So I didn't spend any money. I think I just bought a theme on ThemeForest and a domain name, and then a VPS on OVH. So maybe $100 was what I spent at the beginning. So that was the very low end, of course. But if you are willing to spend for some software or for like designing a better landing page, that's also up to you. But generally, I think nowadays it's very cheap to get something started for today. So you can use landing page builders such as Landem. So if you want, Ivan, I will list you a few tools that you can use yourself that are quite user-friendly. You don't need to know how to code to set up your productized service landing page. Probably the only thing that you will have to spend on is a domain name and maybe paying for a tool per month to link that domain name to the website builder.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
No worries. And then the second question, once the niche is decided, how do you approach your target markets and understand the problems? How does one start a conversation and lead prospects to tell them their burning pains? So at the very beginning, I found that just getting on conversation with prospective users is the best way. So for me, at the beginning of ManyPixels, I did it by joining many Facebook groups of entrepreneurs and of people that I thought needed some design work done. And then I got some conversations with them by Facebook Messenger. But you can also do an outreach campaign on LinkedIn. You can also do an email campaign, but be careful that your domain might be blacklisted if you just send like 500 emails in one go. So you have to do it carefully. But basically, call outreach, reaching out to potential customers is the best way at the very beginning to understand the problems and make sure that you have a strong value proposition for them. And then there's another question, during the pre-launch phase, what's the best way to get people interested in signing up to the waiting lists before launch? So one way you can do it is, well, there's just a couple of ideas that I have right now, but you can probably try to create a irresistible offer, so like a special offer, special launch offer. So for example, Tyler from the group created Uploads Lab, and he said to the first, 50 users, I think, he would create a case study for $1. That was an idea for him to get some customers, but also to get a lot of case studies. So all of these customers that came to him gave him some more content for his portfolio. And then thanks to that content, he went to get more customers. So that's one way to do it. So maybe, I don't know if it's good that you offer some work for free, but maybe you offer like a very special offer and then get a lot of customers. And then thanks to that base of customer, you go and reach more customers.
All right, thank you, Robin. Hey, I was just wondering, like, what's the best way to reach those people, where to find them?
Oh, where to find them? That's what you meant?
Yeah, I mean, it's not only the offer, but it's like, how do you start generating people that might be interested in the service and just reaching out to them? Is it just emailing them or calling them, direct mail? I mean, what do you find is the best source of reaching people during the pre-launch phase?
I would say LinkedIn, email, maybe Facebook Messenger. And then once you get their interest, you can set up a Calendly and offer them to call you and book a call with you for a demo of the productized service. But I would say, yeah, LinkedIn, Facebook Messenger, and email.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And I think we have another one from Naum. Is it Naum? I'm terrible with names, I'm afraid. Naum Sharon.
Yeah. So portfolio design work before launching. So I would definitely recommend that you have a portfolio of design work. So either you can create a few dummy projects with your team so that they can show the different type of work that they can do and produce the results. I will also say don't put only the best work that you've done if you are a design service, because customers will have super high expectations, and if you don't reach those expectations all the time, they will be a little bit mad at you. And that was a problem that we had at ManyPixels. I only like put some crazy artwork, but if you check the website now, the design work is not so, I mean, it's great, but it's not so crazy. So then there was a question about pricing from Mark.
Yeah, I've unmuted Mark if he wants to tell us what it is. Mark, you're unmuted if you want to ask a question, or we'll come back to you.
Jim,
let's go on to Jim, yeah.
Sorry to cut you, Mark, but you were muted.
Well, I unmuted him, but maybe we'll come back to him in a minute. So let's move on to Jim's question. He's got a question here. The tier 1 package at ManyPixels costs $399 for unlimited design. How do you handle clients that either order many designs, so for which you have to pay your designer many hours, or clients that don't order that much, or basically overpaying with the $399 for, say, 1 or 2 design tasks for a month? This is a really good question, actually. How do you keep them paying the monthly fee?
So basically, we have a big problem at ManyPixels, which is churn. So that hasn't stopped. So the way we solve that is to get customers that basically always have recurring requests, a recurring design request. So we try to focus on businesses of a certain size that needed to do a lot of content creation. So people that needed to create ads, people that had a blog and needed to create a blog image. So we try to look at businesses that had a lot of certain attributes, certain size. And then we were like, okay, these customers might order like 5 to 10 design requests minimum per month, and will stay at least a couple of months with us. But that's only recently that we've known that only a certain type of customers was a good fit for the type of service that we offered. Because before the very beginning of ManyPixels, we only targeted startups that would just order 1 landing page design or some illustrations and then churn. But then we focused on companies that needed a lot of marketing design done, and that immediately improved our retention. But as regard to your question of 399, how do you do it? How do you prevent customers from abusing your service? Basically, we did that at the beginning that there was 1 order at a time, and that's how we do it. So we have a system in the backend where basically 1 designer is assigned to a customer, and if they submit many requests, our system will basically slow down. The designer will do them 1 by 1. And if they want to increase the speed of the turnaround, they have to add the designer in the platform. And so that's how it gets faster. But of course, some customers sometimes just ask 1 or 2 designs, and then that's it. What we have done is that we offer them the possibility to pause their subscription instead of canceling it. And then they can keep their account live. And then we keep sending them offers to resubscribe. What else did we do? We also offered like quarterly packages and yearly packages, because design is sometimes it's like a seasonal thing. You need it 1 month, and then the other months you don't need it. So we told customers just pay quarterly or yearly, and then they don't stress that, oh, I don't have anything to order next month, I will just cancel. And that was a problem, but trying to get them to sign up for the long term was also a good way. keep them. There is a question from Upwork. I will not answer it because it's a competitor of ManyPixels. No, I'm kidding. But what do you offer in return for a call? I didn't offer anything. So I was like, I'm offering you a service. So I didn't offer anything for the call. There are a ton of questions actually. Shopify stores enough of a niche to start with, or would you recommend drilling down even further by going industry specific? So I don't know anything about Shopify niche and industry, going more deep, but I think that's a good niche to start with, especially since that it's not super technical, Shopify. So you can find people like making those tweaks and making those updates compared to WordPress or compared to a development service where you need to train people. Shopify, there's only so much tasks that you can do. So it's more people who are busy and really don't want to learn about how to do it themselves. So that could be a good niche. Then, what pricing in your experience started to give frictions to clients? So I haven't started productized services with a large pricing, such as $1,000 a month or $400 a month. But one way to do it is maybe to create an entry-level offer. So if you offer a $1,000 service, maybe you have like maybe a smaller offer that customers can try. You can show your value with that smaller offer. Because sometimes it's not always about offering a money-back guarantee or a free trial. It's just that people see $1,000, it's too expensive, and then they just leave, but they don't realize that you can actually provide value. But building a relationship by selling a cheaper service at the beginning is a great way to get a foot in the door from those customers, and then later show your value and then upsell them to a higher price plan. Then there is a question, what's the difference between pausing the subscription and stopping it? Actually, there is no big difference. It's just we coded that in our platform so that we can still have the credit card on file of the users and they can still always log in on the platform. Whereas if they completely cancel it, then they lose all of the access to the platform, all of their data. So it's just a way for customers to keep checking the platform all the time. And then we thought that if they keep checking the platform, they will want to make more orders and then resubscribe. So that was our strategy. There's another question from Radhakrishnan. Do you recommend a weekly check-in call with the clients of a low price recurring productized service? Yeah, that could be a great way to deliver a customer experience. You can also create weekly reports and tell them we are always available to call if you want. So, for example, WP Buffs, their service is like I think $50 to $150 per month. But at the end of every week, they send a report of what they did to their customer. And I think customers can always book a call with them if they have a question. So that's a great way to keep customers engaged as well.
I'm just going to add, this is great, fantastic questions. And I'm just going to suggest we're probably going to have to wrap up the Q&A pretty soon. But if you have more questions you want to ask Robin, if you go into the Slack group, there's a speakers follow-up questions channel where you can add more questions and Robin will happily answer them on Slack. Won't you, Robin? I'm just making assumptions here. So basically people are going to drop their questions in the Slack afterwards and you know, they can answer, but please feel free to answer the ones we have in the chats.
Sounds good. So I will take all those questions, copy paste them, and then answer them later on in the Slack then. Okay.
Perfect. Sounds good. Awesome.